great party, isn't it?
Unmask!
Hiya, Doc. Been looking for you. Okay. As you can tell, we are talking about The Shining by Stephen King. Today will be the first episode of our vacation with the Torrances. Starting with the miniseries from 1997. No particular reason, it's just how we started. This is the best we had for a croquet mallet, or a roque mallet, so bear with us. Anyway, hope you like my cosplay. I am Graz Torrance. It is the stroke of midnight here at the Overlook in Griswold Town. And I'm going to tell you about the miniseries and the negatives and the positives that I thought of. Best quote. All of that. Just remember, this is my opinion. I mean, if it coincides with yours, great. If it doesn't, okay. It's an opinion. Anyway, I don't want to talk forever. So, first up, though, before I get to this, I would like to, probably picking the wrong time to say this since we're in the middle of our cosplay thing here, but I'll save that for the end. Never mind. Let's get into the Overlook. The negatives first, because I like to finish on a positive note. I think that the interactions between Danny and Tony are a complete laughable joke. I mean, come on. Tony's levitating, and it doesn't even look good. I mean, he's like very stiff as he goes up and down. And I mean, it's like they might as well just leave the wires in the shot. It's very bad. Very bad. I mean, it was actually a lot better when he's finally like standing on the floor of the hallway. That was number one. Number two, at first when we see them move, like when they're fighting Jack, the hedge animals are just ridiculously bad CGI, or whatever you want to call it, from 1997. They were bad. You can tell that they were effects. There was nothing real about it. And I realize what I'm talking about, but you know, I mean, horror movies today make things seem real. Number three, the 10 years later scene is unnecessary and very maudlin. It's overly emotional. The thing with, oh, kissing, that's what I've been missing, and everybody just sitting there waiting for Danny to, you know, finish his ghost talk with his dad. It was unnecessary, and we didn't need it at all. Not one bit. Number four, Cortland Mead, who plays Danny, young Danny. Oh, he is 100%, I'm sorry, a 100% grade F awful actor. I didn't look up his page on IMDb or anything, but it would shock me if he has more than 10 credits to his name. He has the same face in every shot. The only difference is his eyes widen or are a little less wide. He's almost as bad an actor as Laurie from The Walking Dead. And he just has no real chemistry with anybody. I mean, nobody. It's just pathetic. I don't know where they got this kid, but maybe they were trying, my mom said maybe they were trying to get somebody who looked like the original Danny from the 1980 movie, but oof, they should have went for acting ability, because every time he was on screen, he just kind of brought it all back to life, that you were not experiencing something, you were watching something. If you get my drift on the difference there. I mean, he didn't even have chemistry with his older self. So, yeah. And number 5, Melvin Van Peebles is only so-so as Halloran. He's kind of on the downside of being halfway good, so that's why he's on the negatives. But honestly, it's just to get 5 bads. I'm nitpicking with him. You can take him or leave him. I mean, obviously, if you're comparing, then Scatman Crothers is much better as playing Dick, but at least in this one, you get the real events of the book. But those are the negatives. Not real bad, really. Let's get into the positives. Wendy is cast perfectly. 100%. Rebecca De Mornay is ideal, strong, fierce. She has that, and she can portray that not backing down mama bear mentality just to a T. You actually believe she is Wendy trying to save her son. And that's pretty good. Number 2, the wasps scene was wonderful. The stings or bites looked gross and real. I mean, they were swelled up and just nasty like a real wasp is. Or wasp bite. And the wasps were actually good graphics. I'm not sure if they used real wasps and whatever, but used mirror imaging. But for the shots, they looked like, hey, we're waking up and we're about to bleep up your world. Number 3, Steven Weber is 100% Jack Torrance from the book. That's all there is to it. He plays the slow burn to the hotel-controlled lunatic monster flawlessly. I mean, you really get that he's a normal guy at the beginning, and he's fighting it, and he's slowly being brought under with all of his little tics, like chewing the aspirin or wiping his mouth with his handkerchief, which just makes my skin crawl. And the arguments with his father over the radio are incredible. Number 4, when the hedge animals are brought back to like stalk Danny in the snow from behind, they have this moving liquid sense to them. I mean, they're much better than they were earlier in the thing. You kind of get the feeling that they actually took motion captures of real animals and made them look like hedges somehow with imagery or whatever. I'm not sure all the technicalities, but it looked almost like they were real and kind of slithering up to them. That looked really good. Number 5, Mrs. Massey, the dead lady in the tub, looks rotted and moldy and dead and just gross, and her eyes and her grin are pure terror. That's all there is to it. She is the scariest thing in this whole miniseries. I actually have a lot more positives because I was right. It was a little longer, and I just kept on having things. So, number 6, the score or music is understated, and it's very effective in driving the mood and telling its own part of the story. It really gets you into it. And I know that's kind of like a pun. If you get it, puts you in the mood. Number 7, my entire family, all 5 of us that were watching, 4 members of the book club and my dad, jumped when the dog man came barking horrifically out of the doorway. He's terrifying. Just terrifying. That mask is hideous. Number 8, the fight between Jack and Wendy with the mallet, the razor blade, the croquet ball, the acting between the two. It's believable, it's above great, and it's very visceral. Especially, I mean, there's a part where she throws the croquet ball at him, hits him right there in the middle of the forehead, and he plays it amazingly. It's so well done. And the last positive I have, number 9, which is actually the absolute best part of the miniseries because it's nowhere in the 1980 movie. It's crapped on in the sequel Doctor Sleep, and it's nowhere in the movie sequel Doctor Sleep. And that is, the best part is Jack's final love for Danny, or his overwhelming love for Danny, finally breaking through the hotel's hold on him and giving Danny a chance to not only remind Jack what he and Derwent forgot, the boiler, but giving Danny a chance to escape. I mean, that's the most poignant, important moment of the book. It's the only true reason that Danny Torrance survives the events of The Shining, and they just... I'll get to Dr. Sleep. That's going to be another episode in our vacation with the Torrances. So look forward to that. But yeah, this was done very faithfully to the book. The best quote in the movie, in my opinion, is from Danny. Wendy's on the elevator. She finds a bunch of party stuff. She's throwing it at Jack. One of them's a paper mask like I just had on. And Danny puts it on, and Jack says, "What you doing, Doc?" And Danny says, "Being someone else, so it won't bother me anymore." Wow. It was actually the only part in the entire movie where you actually get a sense that the kid knows how to act. So maybe there's hope for him after all. So overall, it's not a top-notch viewing experience by any means. I mean, it was a miniseries on TV. So it does the job well considering what it is. And it is a very, very definite yes to it being a faithful adaptation to the book. I mean, it hits almost everything. Even at the beginning when Watson is showing Jack the boiler, he's blowing his nose and looking at it, which is in the book. Snort, peek. I mean, it helps that Stephen King actually wrote the screenplay and was more involved in this. So watch it for the adaptation and not the experience. And I feel that you will be satisfied. So that's my opinions on the Shining miniseries adaptation. Hopefully tomorrow you will get a similar video of the Shining movie. And then I'll do the book, and then the Dr. Sleep movie, and then the Dr. Sleep book. It'll be our 5 days with the Torrances. So now the thing I mentioned at the beginning, I'm not going to do an unpopular opinion today. This is a King adapted. So I'm just going to do this. I don't want to take up any more of your time. But I'm doing NaNoWriMo, the National Novel Writing Month. I'm a bit behind the pace. I'm supposed to be around 27,000 or so right now. And I'm just under 17,000, so I'm a little bit behind. I'll do my best to make it up. I've had prodigious bursts in the past. I've actually completed NaNoWriMo twice. 2013 and 2016, I believe. So there's that. And if anyone wants to read it when I'm done at the end of the month, please let me know, and I'll be happy to share it. Or maybe one of the other two. Who knows? But that is... I just figured, a lot of booktubers are talking about NaNoWriMo. And that's what I wanted to say. Also, this is very important. Cosplay makeup done by my daughter. She's amazing, I guess. I haven't seen it. You're seeing it before I am, because I trusted her and I don't want to look at it until I watch it on my TV. So there's that. And her channel is called Jack is Bored. It'll be linked below. I think she's kind of moving around next to me here. I think she wants to say something. Go ahead.
I'm doing NaNoWriMo
NaNoWriMo.
too. So that's just something.
Yeah, we're actually doing that together. We're both a bit behind, but it's not really if you make it, it's just that you keep on going. And neither one of us have quit yet. So, and our stories are moving forward. Hers is a magic fiction fantasy type thing, and mine is more of a memoir recap of dreams. It's kind of half and half. So, but that's today's video, and look for Jack Nicholson's version tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. I'm not going to say read more today because this isn't really, I mean, it's tangential to reading. But enjoy your stay in room 217.